What's happening, people? Welcome to this week's episode of the Indian Doctor podcast. It's another episode where I'm finally joined by the doctor after a hiatus. So tell me, Karan, it's been a while. Even though I say this every other week, it's not been a while, but to me it has been. Because people don't get it, yeah? We don't talk like otherwise except for on here for long periods. Like we save pretty much all our content for people on here to take them through what's actually happening.
Yes or no, we send messages to each other.
Yeah, but like long form conversations, like in the car, I'm like, oh, save that for the podcast. Save that as well. Yeah.
Is that what you think?
That's the way I'm thinking now, yeah.
Okay. I don't think I genuinely think that. I just think I'm really busy, but there's not a... I don't want listeners to think that we just don't speak outside of this. We do, but obviously you're very busy, I'm very busy, but we always make time for the podcast. It does feel like a long time, although, you shot a super long episode last week.
Mate, 3 hours, just a hint over 3 hours. Like, I was shocked,
Joe
man.
Rogan-esque.
Mate, we got halfway through and I was thinking I can take this conversation in one direction or the other. I've got to go down the route that it's just going. And I said, just can we long it out? And they said, yeah. And then it carried on to like 11. So, yeah, long. But it didn't feel like 3 hours. And when you listen to it, I'm pretty sure it doesn't feel like 3 hours either if you're interested in the topic.
I was going to say, you got to be interested in that.
You got to be interested in it, man. You have to enjoy the stuff we're talking about. Otherwise, it's probably just a load of bullshit to you, innit?
Yeah, but I mean, the struggle, the struggle is real. And, I joined Nkile, the Bhangra Team India, I'm part of quite early on, actually. So when I was listening to that place they were talking about in Coventry, that gym, that martial arts gym. Yeah. So when I was recruited, I was taken there and I was made to do one move all day. All day, okay. So
one dance move all day. That's quite boring.
One dance, yeah, it is very boring. And that was this hard training, man. And it was just, there's no team then. It was just like,
Did you not think like, yo, why am I here?
Sort of. But then I was like, oh, this is, again, I was new to Bhangra. I think this was, I can't remember the timeline. I don't know if I was already dancing for the university team. No, I think it's before I joined the university team. So I was just like, I want to be around Bhangra. And what's interesting, like Harpal and Hanek said in the conversation, is having joined Nkile and that becoming public knowledge, not like it's a big thing. Like I said, Bhangra scene is very small. I was then approached by two of the teams, like, oh, why don't you join us?
Look at this guy being headhunted. Look at him.
Right. Okay. And then I was just like, this is so weird, man. I was like, you didn't ask me first when I was there for like a year. And then somebody else.
Now you're hot property, Karan.
Yeah, man. That's it.
They want
On
you,
the
man.
Monopoly board, yeah?
Monopoly board.
Mayfair, baby. That's right.
You went from that crappy little first two spots of purple all the way around to Mayfair.
No, the purple is Mayfair, man. It's those brown ones.
No, the brown ones. That's it. The brown ones isn't purple. It's brown.
20,
the brown ones in the first two
quid.
spots. Yeah. Then you went to the other side of the board and got to flipping Mayfair.
I was like, I can do moves now. You watch.
I can do it all. Right. So you got a lot to tell me about your sister's wedding.
I do.
You actually had a lockdown wedding, innit? Like, and tell me how that was, because I'm thinking, I've got ideas in my head of how it was, but then I saw pictures of what you were doing. You had this big fuck off marquee.
Although it was a COVID wedding, although there was 15 people, 15, and we were, we fixed that number. We didn't go silly and go over the top or anything and do secret things. You would think on a smaller scale the stress is less, and you would think that you get more sleep and all this stuff. The first event, right? The first event started so the wedding was on a Friday. The first event was a Saturday before, Sunday before, right? The Monday when we woke up. Yeah, the Monday when we woke up, me, Shindy, that's my partner, my parents, we all had like body pain, man. And it's not like we didn't even dance on that event, like minimal, very minimal, right? Not like hardcore Bhangra or anything. Minimal dancing. And we had so much pain. I said, man, we're getting old, man. And the longer the week went on, so you had the events, and in between events, you got things cropping up. You need to clean the tent. You need to do this, and this vendor's forgotten this, and just running around, that you expect. Yeah. And yeah, man. So whether it's 15 people or 500 people, the managing of the events was still a thing. Now, I enjoy that anyway. So me and my wife, we quite like being kind of event managers. So I like being in charge and, like liaising and that kind of stuff. So that was one aspect of it. The other aspect was having quality time with quality people, which is really important. and because you didn't have 15 people, so you could actually sit down, have good conversations, and really, really reminisce. It again, weddings are one of those times where, especially when it's your sister getting married, so it's one of the girls leaving the family, you often do think about like these like childhood memories and what we used to do and running around the garden and all our trips. That coupled with me writing a speech for the wedding day, which was like the last thing of the wedding, and it was a long speech. You know, I did like this is much different to the speech I did for my wedding.
Mate, the wedding speech you gave was split into like, what was it, stanzas and chapters. Yeah,
six chapters. Although there were 6 chapters, it was still relatively short. This is a 40-minute speech. Like
40.
It was, 40.
How did you write a 40-minute speech?
So the way it sounds,
you love hearing the sound of your voice.
It was because our mum's side of the family, which in Punjabi we call the Nanake, weren't able to attend for obvious reasons, and they're obviously very close to us. And we wanted to give personal thanks and tribute to everybody. So each person, there was like a dedicated tribute. So mom, dad, obviously Meher's sister, Kenny, my brother-in-law, grandparents both sides, Masi Masers, that's your mom's sister, your mom's brother-in-law. And on the other side, dad's relation. So everybody had a piece. And that's why. The cool thing I did though, which I thought would have a good dramatic effect as well, is so we had live musicians, which you again saw at my reception, the pianist and the celloist. And they were actually playing as I was doing the speech, and we had different songs for different people. And it just actually helped me with rhythm. It kept me in the rhythm. Like, it was really nice to have that song. You like Game of Thrones fan?
Yeah.
Right, so Light of Seven is what I closed out with. So Light of Seven was playing and I was speaking. That was the last part. And it was just so cinematic.
I feel like this is your hope and dream, innit? You're like, I wish I could just have this long monologue. You're thinking, I wish I could have this long monologue over the theme of somebody playing in the background of music of me. Just to sit there, and you were like, salute, right, with your cup up.
Oh, yeah, I didn't do the salute, but my walk-on song, that was good.
You had a walk-on song. Goran, you guys, no wonder you were tired, because I'm listening to all this stuff now, you're like, oh yeah, I have body aches, man. I can't figure out why. I can tell you why, right? You managed to fill in all the gaps of non-stress with your own stress, with your own things, right? You're your own worst enemy. That's what I've learned out now.
Maybe. The walk-on songs. So Dad did a speech as well, and he didn't know what the walk-on song was going to be on my wedding. He had next episode, Snoop and Dre, but he also
was that his choice?
He likes gangster rap, man. But also
that was his, hang on, that was his choice. Your dad loves gangster rap. No way, man.
Yeah. Like Gangster Party, I think is his favorite song. So he's pretty OG, man. But for this one, I thought we'd mix it up. So Kylie Minogue, and so. Harvey, the DJ, was like, now we're going to welcome to the stage or to the dance floor the bride's father. And they went, na, 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 na. And he just went so red, man. He went so giggly. It was brilliant. But
did he choose that? He chose that,
No, I chose that. Because I know he loves Beyonce as well, man. He loves Kylie Minogue. And it was so funny. Anyway, that was his walk-on song. My walk-on song. So again, for my wedding, I had Drake Motto. That was my walk-on song. For this one, have you seen the film Ali, Will Smith?
Yeah, but I don't remember the songs in it.
Cool. It's not really a song. There's a bit at the end where he goes to Africa and he's going to fight, not Joe Frazier, George Foreman. He's going to fight George Foreman, that famous fight. And George Foreman is in the gym and he's working out. And Ali walks in and says, "The champ is here. The champ is here. The champ is here." So I had that as like a mix on YouTube. So Harvey played that and then I walked on and was like, it was pretty gangster, man. So,
putting yourself on such a pedestal, I love it.
Hey, Dr. J's in the house. All right, we've established this already, okay.
Did you give yourself all the MC names like how we spoke about?
AKAs. No, I did for my sister though. My sister's got more names than me.
Yeah, because you both share the same name, but
That's true. But she has more varied names. She's Jazzy B, man. Like, she's got so many different names.
I thought you were Jazzy B. Oh, no, you were Jazzy Jeff. Ooh.
I'm Jazzy
Interesting.
Jeff. Yeah. But it's good, man. I enjoyed the wedding food at the time, and then the next day I paid for it.
Oh, really, Karan? Oh.
But I haven't got IBS. I haven't got made up condition.
My
right?
heart bleeds for you. I have such sympathy for you with you in your fake condition.
No bloatedness. I had no bloatedness like Indy does. But,
Mate, fuck that, man. If you were dying on the toilet the next day, it doesn't settle with you, right?
I forget though. If you at the time, do you enjoy it at the time or not? Or is it like instant your symptoms or?
It varies, man. It depends. It can be instant. It can not be instant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But the next day you pay for it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
but I'm thinking though. Hang on. If you've got a small wedding, you would just want to have like bare pizza. I'm like, I just order loads of pizza.
Yeah, we did a pizza. So
or even on the wedding day, I'd be happy with pizza and like KFC buckets on my wedding day. That'd be great.
We had pizza on one of the days. We had Mackey's on one of the days as well. The rest of the events were kind of... We had a mix. I mean, there was like your standard Indian, then we had like South Indian, and then we had Indian afternoon tea for the churras. So that was like a play on, you know, we have finger foods and the sandwiches and the sweet stuff, but we had it all kind of Indian themed. So Jazz, my sister, one of her good friends, is a caterer as well, like on the side hustle. Okay. So she did that. So yeah, the variety of food was nice. She got to see some of her friends. So we staggered guests. So like on one of the nights when it wasn't like a real event, her friends came. So it was like a friend night. One of the nights we were just, I was meant to interview my sister, like as like a funny thing, like a parody. But it didn't happen because everyone just started chatting and then we just got into that. And I was like, that's
You
fine.
thought, yeah, leave it, there's no point.
Yeah. But I had like all these questions lined up to ask her. It would have been really funny.
Like what? Like, how good of a wife are you going to make to Kenny?
That would have been good. That would have been a good question. No,
what's the first thing that you're going to change in your mother-in-law's house?
Wow, you really thought about this, man. You got some,
mate, I can riff like that, man. Let's go.
Dark ass questions.
Let's go, man.
mine weren't like that at all, man. Wow, I'm gonna come to you next time, man.
Let's go, man. I'll bring it all.
Then what else? Okay, I'll tell you what's funny. So the Gurdwara, yeah?
Hang on, wait. So just pull back a sec. So tell me, what did you talk about in the 40-minute speech?
4-0. So, like I said, it was a tribute, wasn't it? So it was, okay, this is my mom. This is what my mom has done for us. This is how great my mom is. And then there was like copy and paste, but for different things, for like dad, for grandparents.
You did this off the top of your head without any piece of paper?
No. I had to write this, man. This was like normally I can do a speech, right? And I can memorize it. But literally, so the pianist and the musician, I said to them, can you bring me, you know what musicians put their music on the stand?
Yeah.
So I had the stand there, I had a stack of paper, it was like 12, 14 pages long. And literally I was reading and I'd just turn the page over like this as I'm reading music. Because I'd written it with it was like reading a book. It's not like, although I wasn't reading.
Did you write it or type it?
I typed it up. And then some bits were like action bits where I had to like act things out. So like my sister driving, like her driving is really funny. So there were bits like that, and there's bits like when she fell in the water when we went whitewater rafting. And this is the thing. This is what my sister really appreciated speech because she said, "See, my speech at my wedding was good, but if I look back at it now, there was lots of what we like generic elements. It was like a lot of thank you and it's polished. This speech was like pure memories and experiences. So it was like." This happened and then this happened. It was just really personal stuff because you don't have to appeal to everybody. You're just appealing to a few people in the room. But everyone like related to the stuff because they know. And that's why I actually enjoyed this speech a lot more than that one. And again, there's no real time that you sit down and actually look at all the experiences in life. I mean, you know, you've got siblings and sometimes you'll laugh and reminisce about certain things. Sometimes we take, when we look at photos, that prompts us to think about that memory and what we were doing then. Yeah. And that's funny. And actually, guys, really good thing I learned from Indy and Sanj, which I've been doing since, is the whole postcard thing you guys do. I think it's awesome.
Oh man, that's great. Yeah.
Do you want to explain it?
Places. So me and Sanj will go and visit a place. Like we'll go there and we'll buy a postcard of the place on the way back. Like say on the last day, you'll buy a postcard and we'll just sit there and just write like little funny phrases, and little funny messages on the back. And that way, whenever we look back on it, like in about a year's time, we'll be like, oh, we went to like Southampton. Let's have a look at it. We went to that place. Do you remember that? Do you remember when I said this to you? Do you remember how you fell over there? Do you remember how I said this stupid thing? Do you remember how we got in the car and it nearly broke down? Like all these little things just right in the back. You're like, oh man, that was a really great trip. And if you don't put those down, it sort of just tends to wash away and you forget. But when you have those like little cues, it clicks. You're like, oh yeah, I remember. Or some of them's like, oh, actually, I don't remember that. Then your partner gives you a reminder and context. You're like, oh, wicked, you can fit in the memory. Because you can't remember everything, can you? You need to have like references. So those are really important, man. And she introduced that to me, and it's fucking golden, honestly.
It's you know, it's like one of those small things where, well, a postcard costs like 25p.
Yeah,
it's nothing. And I know the one that we did for our trip, which is still funny. And after that, we went, I think, for my mum's birthday somewhere. I know recently we looked at the back of the card and we read the little memory phrases, like you said. It's like it all comes back. Like you can look at a picture and you'll remember some stuff, but the actual phrases. So yeah, great idea. And I guess we were talking about that because I was talking about when you sit down and think about your memories and experiences, and you just think, man, like you got a sister, Indy, and she was married before you. I don't know what the experience was like for you, but
I was young, man. I was like 13.
Okay, I've never had I've only got one sister, but like I've had one cousin sister who's a girl who's married and sort of, you know, left. But obviously when it's your own sister, it's even more personal. And because when you're the guy, you know, and the whole thing, like when I got married and my wife came to our family, it's always like fun, isn't it? New person joining. And I could never appreciate from the other side. And it was the Saturday, so in Sikh tradition, the day after the wedding, the bride comes back to her sort of original home.
By the way, you've seen both sides, right? I haven't. Right. Well, I've seen both sides. It might have been completely different to yours. So when my brother and my Bobby, who's my sister-in-law, when they got married, they didn't move in here at home. They moved into my brother's flat. So it wasn't really like welcoming someone in. It was like, oh, okay, you're good as part of the family. Bye. When my sister left the house, she's like, why aren't you crying? I was like, what's there to cry about? I'm seeing you tomorrow. Right? Because normally the next day they come to the house, don't they? And I was just excited that I got a room. So I was happy that I got like a double bed from like a single bed instead.
The 13-year-old Indy, man.
My priorities are very different as a 13-year-old and a 19-year-old compared to yours
absolutely.
now.
Absolutely. And it's that bit, isn't it? It's the crying element. And so she came back the next day, and then obviously she drove back to a new house, and then.
So she went to where was it, London, and she came back?
Yeah.
So she drove down to London the day before, then came back to Birmingham the day after?
We went with them as well, so again, that's tradition. So on the day they go home to their new house, someone from her family goes with us, so me and Shindy went with her and stayed the night there. And then we woke up the next morning and drove back here, and then they came back here, and then they went back there, and yeah, man.
That does not sound efficient, mate.
No, it's definitely not efficient, but it is what it is. But here's the point. The point is, every Monday, probably for last year, furlough, lockdown, I have Mondays off, any business stuff. She works from home, she's a lecturer now anyway. So Mondays we'd be on the desk, the dining table together, opposite each other, like working. And it's just banter. We just annoy each other. And then I was thinking, I was like, I'm not going to see you on Monday now. Like, that's when it hit me.
Oh, it's like a realization, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I'm going to miss that. But all is good. I'm seeing her this weekend. So
is she back like often or not?
Well, she's only been married a week, so she has plans to come back often. I put this in the speech as well. I was like, there was a week, like a week before the wedding. A week of the wedding. I think it was Tuesday. We went to Burger King, and we're in the drive-through, and I just looked at her and I was like, so you're looking forward to get married? And she was like, She's like, basically, I'm going to come back on a Thursday. I'll stay till next Tuesday. I'll be in my new house for one day, and I'll just come back. And I was like, oh, okay, that's not really like getting married, man.
That's not getting married, mate.
yeah. I was like, but Kenny, he's quite, the other half, he's quite cool with that. She's like, yeah. I was like, you guys can just be pen pals, just write each other letters and once a year, if that's what floats your boat. But wow. It was just really funny, man. So no, the wedding went beautiful. The story I was going to tell you at the Gurdwara Sikh temple, right? So they're doing the vows part, the legal part, right? And it's like, repeat after me. And so the guy saying some of the words, he's getting them really wrong, and Kenny's gone first, right? So solemnly becomes sodomy. Right, and matrimony becomes marrimony, and basically all these made up words, and Kenny's there like just trying to say them, and he actually, to be fair, he copies what the person's saying, whereas my sister Jazz, If you know Jazz, you'll know she prides herself on being very well spoken. She was correcting him as she went along, so there's a bit of humour there in the wedding. And then
what was that? Hang on. So now this ties into another episode, doesn't it? Of people mispronouncing words. Can't say the English words, can they?
Yeah, no, yeah. We were talking about what was it? Punjabi words. I think people can't say on that episode.
Sodomony.
Yeah, solemnly was the correct word.
What does sodomony mean?
Yeah, I don't know if you want to.
What does
do you want me
it
to share?
mean?
Do you want me to share it on the podcast?
Yeah, you gotta tell me, man. Come on.
Okay, let's give.
It sounds quite vulgar.
It is very vulgar.
Oh, there we go.
Let me give you the actual definition.
I don't know if I want to hear this now.
No, I don't think, man, not for the podcast.
Okay, if you guys want to find out, you can Google it.
The point is, it's not something you say in your vows.
And even say this in a place of worship.
Yeah. And, it was just pretty funny. So that happened, and then we had the actual religious wedding, which is beautiful. You know, we had the weather. The weather was awesome. Like the first event, we had snow and hail as part of it, just this little shower.
That's weird.
And we were like, oh, what's going to happen? But the rest of the wedding week, like we had awesome sun. There was no rain.
Yeah, it was a decent week, to be fair.
Because originally they were getting married the first week, and they didn't. And we were, you say in hindsight, like, oh, it's good you got married the second week because you had the weather.
Did you guys stream it all on Zoom and stuff?
Yeah, well, actually, so there's an app where you can stream straight to YouTube. So this is all new to me, but the videographer had hooked it up. So every event, so our family in India, they watched every event live, and there's playback on that. It's a private channel.
That's nice. Yeah.
Really, really good. And actually, even us, like afterwards, straight after the event, you could just go and you could look at some of the stuff.
Man, everything's proper digital. Remember how it used to be like, oh yeah, I'll send you the wedding video in like 9 months' time when it comes out.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Obviously, this isn't edited. This is like raw, which is funny. Like, because obviously there's things you don't think about when you're being recorded.
Yeah, because you can see the stupidness afterwards. You're like, oh, I don't think anyone saw that. But there's someone in the corner doing like all this recording. You're like, oh shit. You got to be on your best behavior the whole time. Because normally when the photographer's back turn, you're like, fuck off, right? Because they're annoying you taking pictures with like as you're eating, especially when there's only 15 of you.
I think that's gone.
And they're all taking.
I think India, generally, I think that's gone. I remember, we're going on this topic there. Do you remember back in the day where the video man, right? It was a two-man job. You had the guy who had the camera on the shoulder, the massive lens. Then you had the wire that came out the back, and the other guy. Yeah. Like when I was growing up, there used to be Sada Video, right? That was the guy. Sada means hours, guys. This is the company. Sada Video, our video. That's what translate says. Yeah. And you had the big man, like the senior banda,
carrying the heavy equipment on his shoulder,
right? And then you had like his boy, his son or something. He was like, "You're not going to school. You come here and you hold the wire for me."
Yeah. You basically hold the wire, make sure it clears past anybody. It doesn't catch on anything. Yeah.
Right. And then the light on the front of his lens was like this floodlight. Right, so like you said, you'd be eating, and then you're blinded by this light. And you're like, and then it's so awkward. And this is the standard thing, right? So tell me if you can relate to this. This is going to be a snippet. So what would happen if at the men's table, when the camera came round to the men's table?
That's it. They were posing so proud of their shot of alcohol, like
that's all they pose their shot of alcohol. They go completely silent. They're like, it's a video. They don't say anything. They just
it.
And that would be the standard thing. And if you're eating, like somehow they capture you where you're kind of like mid spoon, and then you're kind of like looking into the camera and away.
Looking into that like
it's
most unscrupulous stuff you've ever seen.
Yeah, and then here's the other one. You try and make fake conversation with someone to get.
Oh yeah, so how you doing, man?
The camera's there.
This is proper awkward, isn't it? Yeah. Right. Has he gone yet? Oh, he's still glaring. Oh, okay. He's at the edge of the table now. Yeah, he's gone. Oh, it's safe. He's gone. All right, cool. Yeah. Right.
Guys, if you can relate to that, come on, you got to drop us a comment because that used to happen. Man. But I remember in my 21st birthday party, we said to the video crew, "Do not film anybody eating. Take long shots."
Do you know why they do it? Like, it's the dumbest reason why. But my mum said,
I don't know why.
My mum said, "Oh, how else do we know who came?" I'm like, what? And she said, "How else do we know who came?" Because everyone stays for the food, right? So everyone comes, yams the food, and then at that point everyone goes. But you'll miss people on the day. You won't really get to see them. You might forget you saw them. And so my parents actually sit there and watch back like old clips of the wedding and say, oh, they arrived. Oh, they were there. Oh, they were there. Who's that? Right? Like all those things. Like, oh, they're from their side. Yeah, yeah. And then their side are like, who's that? And they don't recognise them. But no one really talks about that because, you know, that's long, isn't it? But yeah, it's silly. That's the logic behind it. I'm like, Mum, that's the stupidest logic in the world. That shows you have too many people there. If you need to have playback to figure out who was and wasn't there, you invited too many people.
Absolutely. At least there's a reason. I never knew the reason. But that kind of makes sense. You're documenting everybody. We should maybe check them in, like stamp them in or something. I don't know.
Stamp them in.
Tagging system, yeah. I don't know. Maybe like when you've seen them, they get like a green light, if a red light. If you haven't seen them, it's like hello, hi, and then you know. I don't know. It's weird, but yeah, it's just come so far, isn't it? Now it's like a much smaller lens, and he had like the phone above and the battery pack, so he could stream it, and like it was just It was good, man. It was really good. The wedding week went like off of there.
Looking back on it, would you have had a smaller wedding or a bigger wedding? Would you have had her wedding or your wedding?
Hard to say, actually. I still enjoyed it. I really enjoyed my wedding.
But which one, though, isn't it? Because there's such extremes, yeah? You got.
They are such extremes. I still probably say mine. You know, the pre-wedding party, the Thursday when you guys are there, and we had Feed Me to the Lions, and we're going crazy. Like it's hard to top that feeling. But then, you know, my sister, she likes things a bit more low key.
Yeah.
So at the pre-wedding party, you know, me and her were jamming. We got 2 mics and we were singing in Paris, and then we had.
Oi, you can't be saying that word, man.
It's a song, man. Like
no, man, I'm bleeping that out in this episode straight away. Geez.
Okay, you bleep it out. I did think about it before I said it, but I was like, but it is a song. It is the name of the song.
Nah, you can't do it, man. Trust me. I've seen people on stage get like battered for that because people who don't get it, right, they go on stage and they drop it and they're not black, right? And the rapper's looking at him like, bro, you can't do that. And he's like, but it's the song. He's like, yeah, you can't do it. Like, it's like an unwritten rule. You can't do it.
But I disagree with that because it's the intention of the word. If you're trying to be derogatory to a black person, absolutely that is the wrong thing.
It is.
If somebody is labelled the song this...
It's their rules. Like, I'm not going to mess with their rules. If that's what they've told me is their restriction, and they turn that word into not meaning what it means anymore, is their word. I'm like, all right, you guys pick and choose it, yeah? I'm not going to say it publicly.
What's the clean version of that song?
Huh?
What's a clean version?
There isn't one. It was never released clean. It was released dirty, and it wasn't on the radio.
No, there isn't. There is a clean version of it.
Is there a radio edit?
Yeah. Oh, well, but how do you reference the song?
Oh, sorry. It says... Oh, I don't know. I know it's like, ball so hard, motherfucker's trying to find me.
Yeah, that gets
But how does the chorus go? The chorus never actually says it, in all fairness.
Yeah.
The chorus is just the beat, isn't it? Right? So if he says the word, he only says the word once. Like the actual phrase, in Paris, yeah? He says that once at the end, and by that point, they tend to cut it out, or they just bleep the word out really quickly.
Yeah. No, what I mean is, how do you actually say that? Like, how do I reference that song without saying that word?
Say the M-bomb in Paris.
The what?
The M-bomb in Paris, or M-word in Paris, or brothers in Paris.
Brothers in Paris.
Brothers in Paris. Yeah, brothers
in
Paris. Yeah.
We were jamming to that, and then we had that song, you know, I'm in love with the cocoa. That's one of Jazz's favourite songs. And we were like, I will bake you soda. And we were there, there's just all these like random, well, there weren't that many random auntie, but there was some auntie on. They were just like, what's wrong with these people, man? What are they singing about?
I'm in love with Cocoa Pops.
Yeah, that's it. That's the clean
version. It's Cocoa Pops.
Cocoa Pops. And my God, when people see pizza that day, when the pizza arrived,
what do you mean? They just devour it, right?
Hey, you there? We had it on, you know, the fancy dress party. Was it fancy dress? I think fancy dress.
Yeah. We came through late.
Yeah.
The pizza was gone, mate. It was destroyed, and you ordered like a lot of pizza.
We did, even for this one. We ordered quite a bit. We had 4 boxes left over, so I'm still eating pizza, man. Like there's still.
No, I'm not saying no. I'm saying at your wedding, it was like you ordered a lot, and they were all pretty much cleaned out.
Yeah, people are hungry.
Because when it comes to pizza, it's one of those things where you can keep eating and you don't feel full, and then you only feel full when you're like bloated. You're like, okay, this is too much now.
Domino's or Pizza Hut?
Neither. Caprino's.
Okay, but of the two, man, I need a reference point here.
Pizza Hut, man.
Right. Okay. Pizza Hut. How many slices can you comfortably eat in one sitting?
I've eaten a large pizza to myself before. I think I can do that.
Reference slices number?
12.
Damn, son. That's
You haven't been there when me and my brother sit there and have pizza night. 2 large pizzas, and we'll pretty much clean it up. We can clean it up, we'll just be uncomfortable. Normally we'll leave like 3 or 4 and save it for the next day.
Is Bal like similar height to you?
Bal's same height as me, but he's much heavier.
Is he wide? He's wide, a bit wider than
He's wider, right? Yeah.
He's wide,
he's built, so I'm like, okay, he can eat more than me. I can still back it, but problem with him is it's like if you eat pizza, it's like a race.
Huh?
Because
go on.
Do you remember in Friends when like Ross says, "I grew up with Monica. If you didn't eat quickly, you didn't eat all." Right? That's Bao. He'll look at your plate. He'll be like, "Yo, are you gonna finish that?" And I'm like, "Brother, I'm just starting." So,
but then he'll ask you a question. Yeah.
You know how normally people are like, "Oh, I'll just get 1 slice at a time."
Yeah.
No. You have to get like you have to load your plate and then guard your plate because he's gonna devour it. Like he doesn't breathe between bites. He just straight in there like it's nothing. I'm like, how do you do that? It's impressive. I can't do that.
What about your sister?
My sister, no, she isn't anywhere near as heavy an eater.
No. What was the dynamic then? If you 3 were growing up eating pizza, how would it go down?
I don't know. I need to ask them that. I don't think. The thing is, growing up, right, my sister and brother, they never had takeout food much because mum and dad used to claim it was really expensive.
Right. Let's talk about this, man.
They used to claim it was really expensive.
Did you get made the like Pizza Hut Domino's version at home? Did you have desi pizza?
Yeah, of course we did.
Desi burgers.
So basically, right? my grandma, she's really, really sick now, right? And she's quite old, but she makes really, really good homemade pizza, and I prefer that over everything else. And one time last week, like not even last week, sorry, I'm chatting out my ass. A couple months ago, my dad tried making homemade pizza, and I was like, oh, let me try it. But he puts like way too much garlic, way too much ginger on it, and it just tastes horrible. So you see pizza and you're like, oh, and you bite it, you're like, what is this? Like, this is horrible.
Funny bread.
Yeah, it's just like, it's horrible. But then my grandma, she used to make pizza and it was just cheese and it had like little peas on it and it had like onions on it, and I'd eat it and I was like, why does this taste so good? I don't get it. It logically speaking, if you look at this pizza, it looks horrible. It's falling apart. It doesn't make sense. But you bite it and you're like, this just tastes like heaven, right? Then mum will make like these homemade chips, and she'll cut up potatoes into really thin strips and she'll fry them, but they're all like irregular. So she'll drop them in like a fryer, pull them out. Do you know how they make spring rolls and stuff? They'll drop them in, pull them out. So she'll do that. She'll pull it out and she'll dab it off and she'll give it to us. And those would taste better than like any other chips you could get anywhere else. And I was like, ooh. So we had that whole like thing growing up. Yeah.
What was your point about being expensive?
They used to claim that takeout food was really expensive, right? My parents are always too expensive. Right. And then one time when my brother and sister were old enough to earn their own money, they're like, it's not that expensive. You guys are lying. Like, you were just being stingy, right? They realised. So they got really pissed off. They were like, oh, all those times you missed out. Then when I got taken to school by dad, I may have told the story before, but on the last day of school, he used to take me home and then he picked me up. We go to Mackey's. We'd eat it on the way home. We'd eat it on the way home. And then when I got home, he said, don't tell anyone. So he wouldn't tell my brother and sister that I had it. And for years, they had no idea. Then they found out once, and my sister said, I got a bone to pick with you. I was like, what? She said, all those years you got McDonald's, you didn't tell us. So I was like, oh, sorry.
You were the baby, weren't you?
I was a little one, yeah. I feel like dad and mum have realised the mistakes they made and they tried to rectify it with me.
Love. Right? Let's give him love.
Genuinely. They're like, we were too harsh on her. We were too soft on him. Let's give him the preferential treatment.
Let's give him McDonald's. That's what he needs.
Let's give him the treatment. Yeah. 10 years apart as well, fine. Yeah, let's make up for it.
That is a very interesting point. When you're young and you try and work out how well off you are, it's
you can't figure it out.
It's weird, isn't it? Like, I used to like, all right, we have Sky, right? And Sky Movies. So for a long
we
period,
never had that. No.
We didn't long period we didn't have it. And then it became, right, we can have it 1 month every year, Christmas period.
Wow.
Right? Yeah. And that became the thing. And now it's like we have it all the time. And it's like, it's really minor. But when you were younger, we used to be like, oh, yeah, we're going to get like Sky Movies, or like the Cricket World Cup is on and get Sky Sports for 1 month.
Yeah.
right?
We used to love having the first month of Sky. You know, when Sky give you the first month, and then like everything for the month, and you're like, oh my god, and you're sitting up for like, I did this. I sat up 11:58 at night watching SmackDown on TV, on Friday night, because the Saturday morning it turned off, and it turned off at like 12:01, and I was like, it's gone. And then I was so upset, and I was like, oh my god. And if you think about it, that's addiction, isn't it? Right? They give you the whole thing for free. They're like, have it all. And then when you want it, they're like, yeah, pay us.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, damn. Early age crack dealers, man, I'm telling you.
Yeah, absolutely. But the way we watch TV, I remember we were talking to Suk about how the way we're consuming content and TV content, like Netflix game, Amazon Prime game is just so good, man. Like films, although Sky original films are getting really good as well. Like,
mate, I haven't turned on my Skybox in about a month. I think the only person that turns it on in my house is my mum and dad. My dad watches all the Indian channels, and my mum watches like iPlayer. So she'll jump on, because I haven't got a smart TV. She'll use the Skybox
through Sky,
and she'll use it through there to use like BBC iPlayer or Netflix, and she watches like Holby City, EastEnders, etc. She's the only one that runs it.
Okay.
And I think about a couple of months ago, I sat there, I was just looking at the stuff that she had on record. Bro, she records so much whack stuff, man. I'm like, Mum, what is this TV show? Like, I watched it once. I was like, Mum, you haven't watched this since 2 years ago. I'm going to watch it. I'm like, no, you're not. You didn't even know it was here. You didn't know it was here.
Electronic hoarding. It's exactly like the boxes we keep. Like,
man, it's horrible. I'm going to watch it. I'm like, Mum, you don't know it's there. If you haven't watched it in the last year, you're not going to watch it. Delete it. Yeah, my policy is I haven't used it in a year, throw it out. That's it.
Absolutely. And that's a physical item or electronic item. But I regularly will go to... Because the problem with Skybox now is like the storage, 2 terabytes.
It's massive,
It's massive. So I literally... It's quite fun sometimes. I get there and I just delete. And I'm like, you're not watching this, you're not watching this.
It takes you a while though, isn't it? Because
Asia TV
you can't do bulk deleting. You have to do it one by one.
I think you can do series, but the individual things you can't do. But like who's watching Brit Asia TV Awards, man? That's not
Sanjay. She loves that, man.
But not back. You can't watch it back. That's
she
weird,
watch it back all the time, bro. Yeah. 100%.
Really? Okay.
Wait until me and her actually buy a house here and we get a Skybox. She's very against this, but I'll be like, but Sanj, it has Brit Asia, and she'll be like, Indy, tell me more, right? Because when she goes to her dad's, she turns that on all the time. Even though it's like, I'm like, you can watch this on YouTube, and she says, no, it's
not the same.
It's the fact you don't know what's going to come next that keeps you going. And I was like, you sound like such a person who's been overwhelmed with choice that you want somebody else to pick and choose it for you. That's why people like listen to the radio though, isn't it? Because they don't know what's coming next. It's like the mystery behind it.
The voice. Who is behind the voice? You can't see the person.
Or who's going to play the next song? What is the next song? What are they going to pick?
I'm going to be on radio very soon. 8th of May. I've got a slot with the main man, Monty Panesar, ex-England cricketer.
Very good.
So,
what are you going to talk about?
Huh?
What are you going to talk about?
So Monty's got a show, actually. He's got a regular slot every Saturday where he talks about various things, and he brings on guests from the cricketing world, and they discuss, current affairs. But he also has like a guest slot for businesses that want to sort of... promote their services, let's say. So on that show, Monty and I will be speaking about the coaching program I offer. And it's not really a market I've looked at, the Punjabi kind of community. But, being a hospital, like I've said, we all have the same problems. So it's just finding the narrative that appeals to Punjabi people. And obviously someone like Monty, is very trusted. Should be interesting, but yeah.
Mate, plug the podcast, man. Plug it.
Absolutely. Wow, we need Monty on the podcast,
Get him on, man. Let's go. I got plenty of questions to ask him about cricket, even though I know very little about cricket. But I'm sure I'll do my research.
How much do you know about cricket?
You know what? I remember how he was a part of the England team a lot in the past.
Let me ask you some questions about cricket. Let me ask you some questions about cricket. This will be fun for our listeners. How many players in a cricket team?
15.
No, it's rugby. So it's 11.
Damn, 11.
But you have a 12th man.
Oh, yeah, the 12th man. I get it. No, wait.
Yeah,
the 12th man, the umpire.
I think no. The 12th man is not the umpire. The umpire is the umpire, man.
The 12th man is the sub-Bennett who can come in and out in case someone has to go for a piss.
Yeah, sort of. Okay, fine. How many overs in a one-day international?
50.
Good man. How many balls in an over?
6.
Okay, you're doing really well. Okay, this is a bit of a tough one. Let's see if you get this. If a bowler is bowling,
Uh-huh.
and he bowls. So let's say he bowls wide, and the ball hits the wicketkeeper's helmet. How many runs does he get for that?
Doesn't depend on. I don't know if it touches the helmet. I know if it's a wide, it's a wide, and the other team gets a run.
Yeah,
and,
that's an extra.
And the ball gets rolled over, so they have to take it again. So it's like you're just giving away a run. But
Yeah,
the helmet thing, I don't know about that. Like I know if it misses the player and it misses the wicketkeeper and it hits the boundary, it's a 4 and it's a wide. Like I know that.
Well, so it doesn't have to be wide. That would be what we call a bye.
Leg buys, yeah, leg buys.
No, not leg bye. So a bye, there's a bye and a leg bye.
Oh,
a leg
Jesus.
bye is where if I bowl the ball to you and it hits your leg, there is no contact with your glove or bat. Glove is also counted as a bat, which is why if it touches your glove and the wicketkeeper catches it, that can still be out.
It's
even though
out,
not your
yeah.
bat, right? But say it touches your leg and then just goes to the boundary. Or even if it just goes and you run one run, that's a leg bye. It's not come off your bat, and then that gets counted in the extras total and not in the kind of the team. A bye is basically just where the ball is just missed by everybody. That's it. That's what it means. So your wicketkeeper misses the ball.
But if it's a wide and it's caught by the keeper, it's a wide, isn't it?
It's still out though. It's still out. That's the thing.
What do you mean it's still out?
So yeah, that's a really good question. So if the ball is wide, say I'm bowling to you, right, and I bowl it really, really wide, but you edge it or you hit it and I catch it,
Yeah.
it's still can be wide, but it's still out.
Isn't that open to interpretation though? Like how wide a ball is? Like an umpire could say, "Oh, that's too wide."
Sort of, but basically in one-day cricket they're less lenient. In Test cricket they're much more lenient. So in one-day cricket, if you look at there's basically these white lines, anything outside the white lines, especially on the off-stump side, you've got more. Anything a little bit down the leg side, straight wide. So that'd be a wide.
I prefer T20 cricket. That's more fun.
Yeah, I guess
it's just super aggressive cricket. That's it, and it's quick.
It is. I mean, the IPL at the moment, where you've got the best players in the world playing together essentially in various teams, it's really interesting. On that point, because I know nothing about football, tell me about this ESL thing, man, that everyone's blown up about. Tell me what the supposed league was and what the issue has been.
I knew you were going to say this. I don't want to talk about it because by next week it's going to be our old news, isn't it? Because by the time this comes out, but brief rundown is there's a number of football clubs in the world that want more money, right? 6 of them are in the UK. They're the top 10 richest clubs, right?
And they want more money, even though they're top producers.
Essentially, they agreed a deal with clubs from Italy and Spain to break away and form their own Super League, right? And it's a closed shop.
Sorry, when you say league, this is give me some context here. So each country has their own like Premier League.
So each country has like the Premier League. Spain has La Liga, etc. The Bundesliga is in Germany, right?
Yeah.
But then what these big teams were saying is we're going to make our own little league, with all the best teams in the world.
But isn't that the Champions League anyway?
It is, but this is going to be a replacement for the Champions League because they're not happy with the format of the Champions League. They said we're not getting enough money. When they had this league, essentially it's them guaranteeing, saying we want to have our own little shop, our own little league. We always qualify for it every year. We're going to get the money from it every year. And nobody else can come in. Oh, sorry, there might be a few teams that come in every year that we just come in and push them out again. But we're going to get all the money from it.
But the core teams will stay the same. And those are the 3, correct me if I'm wrong, those are the 3 biggest leagues in the world?
There were 6 in England.
Right.
There were 3 in Spain and 3 in Italy.
And these are the best teams in the world?
Sort of, yeah. I mean, the only teams that were missing were Paris Saint-Germain from France and Dortmund from Spain and Bayern Munich. Sorry, not Spain. Dortmund from Germany and Bayern Munich from Germany. They said no. PSG,
they said no. Okay.
Yeah, I think PSG said no because they're owned by the people who are running the Qatar 2022 World Cup. So I think they don't want to piss off FIFA, right? So they didn't agree to it.
Right.
Then you've got Dortmund and Bayern Munich. They said no because their clubs are actually owned by the fans. So 51% of their fans own their football clubs, which is how it should be. Here in England, they're just owned by multi-billionaires. And they're owned by like really rich owners. The reason why this came about is because the owner of Man United, Joel Glazer, and the president of Real Madrid, Florentino Perez, they came up with this idea to hatch this little league, and they went around to all the teams saying, "Are you in?" And because all the teams in England are owned by American owners, well, a lot of the big ones are anyway. So Arsenal's owned by an American owner. You've got Man United that's owned by an American owner. You've got Liverpool that's owned by an American owner. That's 3 already, yeah?
Right.
And you've got Man City, Chelsea and Spurs. They're sort of like on the peripheral, but they're still the bigger teams in England.
Yeah.
They agreed to this little breakaway league. They announced it on Sunday night. Massive backlash. All these issues came out about it. And what happened was everybody just lost their shit. Like pundits, ex-players, media broadcasters, journalists, everybody just rallied behind it and said, we're not agreeing to it. We don't want to do it.
Because? Why? What did they lose out?
They're saying you're destroying the concept of football. So the reason why football is such a great sport is because you can have games where the bottom of the Premier League team can beat the team at the top of the Premier League on any given day. That's what makes the sport great. And when you qualify for the Champions League, you work throughout the whole season to get in the top 4 positions to be in the Champions League. You can't just guarantee it for yourself every year. If you do that, you're sucking the fun out of the football game, innit? It's shit. So then they were saying, if you leave the Premier League, the trickle-down money that comes into the Premier League to the lower divisions to keep them going is going to get sucked out. The reason why the Premier League is so prominent is because there's so much money in it, that in TV rights and stuff. If those teams leave, it's not going to be worth as much. There's not going to be much demand across the world for people to want to watch it.
Got it.
Right? These owners essentially got greedy and said, we want to own the TV rights. We want to have our teams play across the world in numerous venues. We want to make it a closed shop. We want to have like massive contracts for our players. And we want to milk as much as we can out of fans. Fuck having people in like a stadium. We can take them to Singapore one day, to Dubai the next day. We can take them to New York another day and just have like fans there and just build on this multinational basis and have all of our games there. That's what they were trying to do. Now, yesterday, a bunch of shit happened. A couple of teams pulled out. So Chelsea and Man City, they pulled out. When they pulled out, all the other teams in England pulled out and fell in line and said, yeah, we're not doing it anymore. All because the fans protested.
Pulled out, so who are the decision makers in them pulling out? Again, the owners, the ones who wanted
The owners, yeah. The fans just backlashed, man. There were like protests and shit happening. There's still some more happening for the rest of the week because they want to get those owners out of their clubs now. They don't want them there anymore. Yeah, so there's protests happening at Man United and Man City on Saturday. Arsenal's protest, I think, is on Friday. Chelsea have one yesterday. Liverpool have been protesting as well. I think Spurs had theirs yesterday. They're going to do some more in the future. They really want to get them out because what they did was just disgusting. You can't do that to football. And football was such a massive cultural sport here in England. It was like it's a working class sport, and that's what it was built on. Now it's turned into this whole like footballers are at the top of the social pyramid now and stuff, which is fine. But the amount of money in it is sort of ruining the game. And now we're noticing that those owners had an ulterior motive to want to just pull that in. Yeah.
I like your analogy there. Working man sport.
It is a working man sport. Like when you look back on it, it was built from like people who were like lower class people just kicking a football around because it's a low entry cost sport. If you compare it to like tennis or cricket, all you need for football is just a fucking ball. That's it. You don't need anything else. That's why it's such a great sport to play.
Put you jumper down for the goalpost, yeah.
Sorry.
Put your jumper down for the goalpost.
Yeah, put like a couple jumpers down for a goalpost and just play in the park. You can do that. All you need is a ball. But in other sports, you sort of need like, in basketball, you need like courts and stuff. Everything else, it's not as readily available.
Barrier to entry. Okay. Second question.
All that kicked off, man. It was wild. And it's been like a crazy 72 hours now, actually. 72 hours since it was announced, and now it's fallen apart.
Okay. Second question for you, because again, I don't know much about football, so you're a good person to ask. Mourinho, he's been sacked, yeah?
Yeah.
So, question number 1, why was he sacked? Question number 2, what is all the hype about him? I know he's won a few Champions Leagues, but like, what is the? Yeah, I'll leave it to you.
So I have a bone to pick with Mourinho because he sucked the fun out of Man United for years. Like he was a shit manager. What's happened is he has this really old school approach of saying, I run by authority, all the other players fall in line.
Right.
That used to work about 10 years ago, but nowadays players have their own social media, they're more sensitive and they don't vibe with that. So when you try and come in with this iron fist, you piss off key members of the changing room. When you do that, they essentially down tools and stop playing for you. Then you get sacked because at the end of the day, it's a results business, right?
Right.
So nowadays, he's no longer really a great manager because he keeps on going everywhere and getting sacked.
Yeah,
he's never
that's-
left.
exactly. That's
He's
what I'm saying
he's
there.
never left anywhere on his own accord. He got sacked at Chelsea twice, sacked at Man
Right.
United, sacked
Yeah.
at Spurs. He's just
Yeah.
getting payout after payout, no matter where he goes.
Yeah, so explain that to me as well then. So what's the... Because when I look at managers, I was
Yeah,
even the international or kind of, club level,
yeah.
it just seems like it's the same guys who just recycled to different clubs.
It is, yeah. A lot of them, Spurs wanted to get him in because they haven't won a trophy in years, and their concept
Right.
is we just want to win something. Mourinho, wherever he goes, notoriously, he always wins something. So he's
Right.
been there for 17 months. He didn't win anything. They have a cup final this weekend, but they sacked him on Monday. Rumours say that he was sacked because he told the players to not train because of the Super League thing, but I don't buy that. I think he just saw that it was going bad, and he just said, I'll use this as an opportunity to get me sacked so I can get the money, get my payout, and then leave.
And then go to the next one.
Yeah, man.
And what would you say the highlight of his, the pinnacle of his career was?
Winning the Champions League with Porto, that was when he was on the map, because Porto had
Right.
no superstars. Then he won it again with Inter Milan.
Right.
He won La Liga with Real Madrid. He won the Premier League with Chelsea a couple of times.
And he
that's
nearly
it.
won... no, he didn't nearly win. I think it was semi-final, wasn't it, with Chelsea? With that infamous 10 men or something? The red card?
Which one?
Was it with them and Real Madrid or Barca?
The Barca 10-men thing was... that wasn't... They won it on that year, Chelsea, but he wasn't there at Chelsea. It was Di Matteo. Roberto Di Matteo. He
Okay.
was their manager.
I can't remember. And then maybe I'm thinking about... Well, there's one game where I think they were playing a Spanish team. So going to be Real Madrid or Barca. And it was...
That whole thing happened. It did happen. It was Chelsea versus Barcelona in the second leg. Chelsea had someone sent
semi-final.
off. Yeah, it was a semi-final. They had someone sent off, and then Torres scored that breakaway goal.
That was it.
And Gary Neville lost his voice, going all high pitched. Yeah. Oh, that's what he was saying. Yeah, it was hilarious.
Okay, so
but that's the
hype
appeal now.
about-
So essentially, managers of that ilk no longer do well in football. You have to be like a very players coach. You have to want to get players going. You have to want to be their friends a little bit to get them on your
And
side.
tell me about Fergie though. Like, what was he?
What
Was he
about Fergie?
authoritarian? Was he an
Huh?
authoritarian? Was he an authoritarian as well?
He
But
was.
whenever
He
I hear-
is. Yeah.
When I hear old players at Scholes and gigs talking about him, or even Beckham, it's always like really good things.
He
Like,
was the boss. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They still, like, I don't know, like if they had that kind of granddad kind of relationship with them, but they all seem to not fear. They don't talk about fear about him. They talk about a lot of respect.
They
So
have
how
respect
does-
for him, but they did kind of fear him a little bit as well because he didn't want to piss him off. So he used to do things called the hairdryer treatment, which is where he would lose his shit in the changing room and just scream at players. Like, if a player's
Hairdryer
here,
treatment.
he'd be in their
Right.
face screaming at them for ages. And then at the
Oh.
end of it, they go out and give a great performance. Now, later on in the years, as they went on, after he won the trophies, like in the early 2000s onwards, he started to soften his approach a little bit because players couldn't really take it. So some
Right.
of them became more sensitive. So what he would do is he would target his more senior players, have a go at them, to send a message to the younger players to pull their finger out, and then it would work.
This happened in Pangarama.
So he was like a master tactician. He was a great man manager. Like, he knew how to get players going and how to get the best out of them. Some of them he'd had to put an arm around them and tell them, "You're the best player here." Others he'd just treat them like shit and they just perform really well. He knew how every player worked.
Harpal also did this, in Pangarama.
Yeah, of course he did.
There was
Harpal
one.
did that
There
to
was,
us all.
there was one run through, man. Folk Stars 2015 training. Right, it's Friday night. We're in that place. I can't remember.
This is
what it's called now.
up.com and stuff. Yeah.
I can't remember what the name of the place is. And so we just run through. Everyone else stops. Me and Karthar. We do the chicken arms to the end.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no one else did it. And I get bollocked. I'm like, you're being lazy. You didn't get low enough. And I was like, are you serious? Are you actually being serious? I'm like, all these shit guys not doing anything. And you want to give me a bollocking. But I understand now the strategy.
Yeah, it's a strategy, isn't
You
it?
got to give it to the senior man, right? You got to give it to the senior man.
Of course you do.
But,
It's smart.
yeah.
It's how you do it. It's
how you do it,
it's
yeah.
the way forward. But that's how it all works, man. The ESL thing was wild, but I'm hoping that we can get those owners out because Man United have had these really crappy owners called the Glazers for years. They
Right.
bought us out like 15 years ago or something. They've just been
And-
really bad owners since.
What is the function or role of an owner? What do they actually do?
they're meant to. Well, obviously they want to make money, don't they? If you buy something for like the amount of however much it was, you're going to want to make money out of it. So they want to make more. So
no, not the ESL, right? Yeah, just generally.
No. I'm just talking about owners here, right? Think of it as an investment. Yeah.
If so you buy something, what they make money from?
They make money from ticket sales. Right. They make money from merchandising. They make money from advertising. They make money from sponsors. They make money through pretty much all those avenues. So when COVID hit, all those ticket sales, all those kiosk sales and stuff where people were buying like a fucking hot dog for 10 quid, right? They stopped. Mate, I've been to those games, right? And you're freezing cold and you just want to have like a cup of tea. They're like, yeah, 4 quid. I'm like, 4 quid for a cup of tea? They're like, yeah. And I'm just like, it's just fucking hot water in a tea bag. They're like, yeah. And I'm like, fuck off, I'm not paying it. That's like literally all they do is milk the fans. Like they just take the piss with you. Because Manchester's cold in autumn and winter. It is bone chilling cold.
Right. Say you're the owner, right, of a club and you want to buy Ronaldo, okay? Ronaldo's price is 100 million, let's say. Who puts up that money? Where does that money come from?
That money it should come from within your actual turnover in the year. So at the end of the year, your team, if you run it efficiently, you should be in the green, right? You should have enough money. Okay. Now, a lot of the owners just pocket it as a dividend and they say, yeah, we'll keep half. We'll give half back to the team. Maybe another half of that will go to the team. The other half will go to like building a new training facility. Now, that doesn't add up because owners are meant to put money into the club, not keep taking money out. The problem that a lot of our owners who are American in England, so Liverpool, Man United and Arsenal, they've noticed over the years that the wage bill has come down of our players. They've had players put back in on lower wages, but they're taking more and more money out and the transfer budget's getting less and less. So fans are getting pissed off saying, why aren't we getting the best players? And the owners aren't saying anything. They're just hanging people out to dry like an executive, saying you go and walk out and tell them why and just hide behind it. We'll do our quarterly figures and just say we're on track to win something, but you don't win anything for years. Like, it's all just a corporate game. That's why there's such a push now for this fan ownership, because fans want to own a lot of the club and have a say in how it should be run. You shouldn't be taking money out of it. You should be putting it back into it to let it run on its own.
So if you're a fan ownership, say, like you said, the 51% with Bayern Munich, then you still presumably have like a CEO and MD running it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they have a say with like elections, or they have a say with like not buying players as such, but how the team should be run.
Yeah, there's a board, there's like an opinion, it's a bit more democratic.
They can't go and do things like go and try and join a fucking Super League without getting permissions off the fans. The reason why the Super League was so badly received is because they didn't tell anyone. They didn't ask any fans. They just announced it. And everyone's like, what the fuck? You didn't run this past anyone. You just chose to do it. You just chose to do what you wanted.
It doesn't, I mean, the name itself, it sounds quite cheap, man. I don't know. For me, when I heard it was a bit like Europa League. I was like, it doesn't sound premium. Like, European Super League, I thought first it was like, it's like an IPL parallel, right? You're getting all the best players going to the Super League.
They wanted to put it together as a replacement of the Champions League. And they wanted to sell the rights to like Amazon, Disney, etc. Make you pay like a pay-per-view thing and whatnot. Like, it was wild, all the stuff they were coming out with. But only when the threats of like the bigger companies of FIFA, UEFA, the FA saying we'll kick you out the league, your teams, your players that play for you can't represent their international teams ever again. Then the players started kicking off, then the manager started kicking off, and then they backed down. So it all worked out really, but it doesn't mean that those bigger companies are completely innocent, like UEFA, FIFA, etc. They're just as bad. Why is the World Cup being held in Qatar in 2022?
Money.
Exactly, it's all money, right? So it's just like, who's the lesser of the two enemies here? Then you pick them, and then now they're in charge. You're going to try and pick someone else, and it's like you're going to work your way down until you get to someone you're happy with, and you're like, okay, you can take it forward. And
this is acceptable amount of corruption.
This is the acceptable amount of corruption that we're happy to work with. Yeah.
Well,
it's wild, man. But that shows how quickly news can travel, and just the power of social media, right? Like, just within 3 days, we're in COVID. You can't exactly do much, but you can organise a protest. You can go down there and go and do that. You can kick off with like your own fan channels on YouTube. You can get a following. You can get people to not be outraged, but to stand against it. And it worked. Like a 48-hour turnaround from announcing to failure is fucking rapid.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for that. That was highly educational.
You're welcome.
As someone who doesn't really follow football like you do.
Yeah, love it.
And your knowledge of cricket isn't that bad. So the T20 World Cup was in India this year, but the next time there is a couple of games in the UK, then I'll take you along, and we can.
Why not? Come on, then I'll sit there. If it's T20, I'll come. If it's Test cricket, I want to go to sleep, man.
I did that to Raj once. I didn't tell him. I just said I got a ticket for you at Birmingham Edgbaston, and he turned up, and then it was Test cricket. He didn't know, but it was fine because basically we had the headsets and we was basically just chatting. But this guy in front of us got really angry. And he turned around at one point and he said, I've been listening to you two jabbering on for the past hour. This is cricket. You should just be quiet and enjoy yourselves. It was really, really funny. The funny thing was, so we were like that. Then there was this other guy, this Jamaican dude, who was just shouting out random shit.
Yeah, of course.
The guy would miss the ball and he'd be like, oh yeah, boy, good shot there. Like just random stuff, right? And I was like, you're too scared to say to this guy, right? So he said,
of course you are.
As a guy before.
Of course you are.
Oh, it's so funny, man. And again, the game was India-England. He has a Jamaican guy just giving it 10, man. It was just brilliant. He's like, yeah, boy,
India-England, some of the shit.
Bounce up, bang him on the head. It's like,
mate, some of the shit that people say. So, like, I remember when Monty Panesar was a part of the England team when India were in town. He was getting abuse after abuse from the home fans who were there. Really... Well, home fans who are Indian but born in England but chose to support India.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's a really odd dynamic.
It's really weird how people pick and choose those allegiances. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Because in any other sport, maybe it's because India don't represent there, but if you're watching football or anything else,
no one supports India.
Or rugby.
I think it's because India are competitive at cricket. That's why.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, it's our home, and I'm like, yeah, sort of. But then on the opposite end, you're born in England, so which one do you want? I guess.
So what they want is they want to support the English rugby team and the English football team. And the Indian cricket team. That's the best combination.
It is each to their own. Like, everyone's got their own preference, which is fine. Like, I've got nothing against it. To be fair, when India won the World Cup in 2011, 12, was it?
11.
I watched it. I watched the whole thing because it was at uni and everyone was watching. I was like, yeah, I'll watch it. And then I got in on it. I was like, yeah, this is great. India won. We beat Sri Lanka. Yeah, great.
And then you joined a multi-level marketing scheme, isn't it?
Yeah. Different story, even though we've been over it. For those of you that don't know, go back a couple of episodes and find the snippet. It's on YouTube.
Indy became embroiled in a scandal.
Oh God, it was
a very famous scandal as well, though.
It's not that famous, is it?
It's very famous, man.
What, Vima?
Type in Vima scandal. Bob.
Yeah, I know it is now, but at the time it happened, there wasn't much about it.
Yeah. No, I'm saying now it's been exposed and everyone.
I got caught in like 2013.
You in the source, man. You were the origin story. It was
in
you.
there. That's it. Let's go.
Yeah. But right, it's been good. It's been real.
No, that's it. Oh, are you done with me now?
It's time to eat, man.
Well, hang on. I got one thing to add. Yeah.
You got one thing to add.
Watch The Sound of Metal.
What's your name?
No, not what's my name.
What's your name? It doesn't matter what your name is.
Wow, this guy thinks he's the Rock over here, man.
Listen, DJ, Dr. Jazz. Do not forget, baby. All right.
DJ, how many nicknames can one guy have?
My coach, he calls me DJ, and I really like it.
Darren, everyone calls you something different.
I know, right? I know, and I don't tell them. Look,
that doesn't make sense. A nickname should be a universal name that everyone calls you.
Consistent.
It shouldn't be. He calls me this and he calls me that. I'm saying this while I got the name fucking Jugger on my top. But anyway, that's a different story. But it shouldn't be like 15 nicknames. It should be like, all right, 2 or 3 we can accept.
I am not giving them myself. I don't pronounce myself to be DJ. But he calls me DJ.
But you'll go around championing it, right? Thinking,
Dwayne Johnson. There we go, man. Like, me and my boy.
Dwayne Johnson. Also, DJ is in like
Johnson.
Scratching DJ.
Yeah, not that one.
Not
anyway,
that one.
What were you going to say? Watch what? Metal? Something?
Watch the Sound of Metal.
Right, documentary
with Riz. What's his name?
Oh yeah,
Riz, the guy from 4 Lines.
Yeah. I like him. Riz Ahmed.
Riz Ahmed, yeah. I was going to say Riz Khan, but that's the name of our freelancer.
Yeah, right. Shout out to Riz, yeah.
Shout out to him, and he's editing our videos and smashing it. Thank you for that. But Yeah, he's really good. He was nominated for an Oscar. I watched it with Sanj on the weekend, virtually.
Sorry,
obviously,
film or
film. It's on.
Right,
It's on Prime.
Sound of Metal. It's on Prime.
Yeah, it's basically.
I think he's a really good actor.
Yeah, the story is someone that goes deaf, and it's fantastic. I watched it and I was like, I'm partially deaf, and I was like, I'm waiting on the NHS to like come back to me with my ear issues. I've got an appointment in July, but I might just go private after seeing that. I was traumatized, bro.
Nothing works in your body, does it? It's just
nothing works in me, bro.
Just eating 12 slices of pizza. This will happen.
That is actually hereditary though, because my mum's got hearing issues. My brother and my sister both have hearing issues.
Okay, so you're saying it's not my fault. That's what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, it's not my fault.
I heard you had a gym session, in-person live gym session.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah.
Did you get broken? Because I got DOMs.
No, but I got broken on Monday when I went climbing. I did my own gym session on Sunday. I was thinking, I'm fine. I went climbing Monday. I looked up at the climbing wall and my back just went. So I was like, shit.
Oh.
Yeah. So like now I can't bend over properly. Like I'm still waiting for it to calm down. It's still in the acute phase.
Listen, you need to look up the word sodomy, and that will help you bend over.
I'm not doing that, bro.
That's all I'm going to say. Thanks. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm in pain still. I'm at home just sitting, trying to stretch it out and stuff, but it's not great.
Oh, you're doing your hot yoga? Okay.
Mate, I wish I could do hot yoga.
We'll get into that story.
We're not getting into that story, man.
We'll get into it soon, Bikram. Look, I'm so pumped for your stag end of August, mate.
If there's ever going to be one, yeah.
No, it's happening, man. We are.
Why don't you come talk to me in about 4 months when COVID's back? Yeah. See. Speaking of which, my dad's upstairs isolating. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
He's upstairs isolating. He came back from
He's from the hot zone.
He came back from India yesterday because remember when Bangladesh and Pakistan were put on the red list on Easter weekend,
and they won't allow people to fly out. Will they come back now?
Yeah. Mum called him and said, "You better come back now." He's like, "No, it's fine. There's nothing wrong here." And we're like, "Dad, different cities go into lockdown each day in India. It doesn't make sense. They do like daily lockdowns and then open it back up again. It doesn't make sense, right?"
But now you can't fly out from India, can you?
From Friday you can't. So we had him do this. He rebooked his flight. That was 3 weeks ago. He only managed to. He was on a 3-week list basically, and then he got his flight back yesterday. He's upstairs isolating in his room. I have to go and run upstairs and give him like food in the morning and afternoon and stuff. I have to keep checking on him. He called me in the middle of a meeting. I thought it was important. I answered it. He's like, "Yeah, can you bring me a cup of coffee?" I'm like, "What?"
Just a bit of context here, guys. So he is your dad.
Yeah.
So like doing things with him it's not bad.
Geez, this guy's treating me as if I'm his servant. Listen,
he's come from
bring
India,
me a cup of coffee.
That's normal in India.
Mate, he went to India and had a jolly for 6 weeks. Yeah, I got no sympathy for it.
What I'm saying is, in India, that's normal, man. You ring for something, the person comes. So you just need to listen, Jagga.
I'm working.
Jagga, you need to become Jagga. Right.
I'm working, man. I ain't got time for this, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was important. I was like, oh shit, is he come down with symptoms? Like, do I have to take him to hospital now? What's going on?
That's a funny thing, man. So when my sister was lecturing and working from home, my dad's thing is like, no, if you're at home, you're not working. Well, do you know what I mean? Like he blurred the lines between my sister.
My dad does the same thing. Yeah.
I'm actually working. Like no. You're in the house. You can wash the dishes, or you can make this, or you can put the.
Or like I'm sitting on a call, I'm presenting, and he walks in, starts going into the sink, starts clanging dishes, and I'm like,
yes,
can you not see this? And then people are like, put your dad up, man. Let's say hi to him, and I'm like, no, right? I'm not going to talk to him. Leave it. They're like, want to meet your dad? I'm like, you don't want to meet my dad. I'm like, you can come and meet my dad. It doesn't make any sense. They're like, they're looking at him like he's some kind of foreign person. They're like, oh my God, he looks so cool. And I'm like, yeah, he's not when he comes halfway through your meeting, starts clanging dishes around, right? Acting like it's all banter.
You're doesn't like, get it. Come and live with him. That's what you're thinking.
Doesn't get it. I'm like, yeah, come and live with him and then tell me how much fun it is, yeah? Oh God. And he does things like he'll leave things around the house. Like he'll leave a piece of paper here. He'll leave like a cup there. He'll leave his socks there.
He's
and I'm like, Dad,
clues, man.
Can you not just put it away? He's like, oh yeah, but I knew where it is. Like, I can go in our garage, it's full of clutter, yeah? I'll call him and say, Dad, where's this? He'll be like, right, 5th shelf, 3rd point down, 3 to the left is there. I'm like, how do you know that?
Because he's a genius, man.
Because he put it there, that's why. But then the house turns into a mess.
You're a clean man, aren't you? Clean freak.
No, I'm a clean man because I don't like clutter.
Order. You like order.
I like minimalist stuff. When I see those pictures of rooms and it's just clean,
Yeah.
And it's like got nothing there except a sofa.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this
You're
is
like-
nice, you know. I could just sit there. That's good.
Mental asylum.
Yeah.
Padded walls.
Mental cleanliness, right?
No,
and then
no,
you come to
mental
mine and
asylum.
you're just like, what is this? There's so much clutter everywhere.
Yeah.
But I make peace with it because they're in my house, isn't it? So
Absolutely, my friend.
when I get my yard, different story.
When I get my yard, we won't be allowed in because, yeah, we've got to be clean. And
Yeah,
we'll
when
look
you
at
come inside, shoes off.
we'll look through the window. Your shoes off. You got to take your shoes off.
Shoes off straight away.
Yeah.
Right, dry
Change your
off. I don't
socks.
want you bringing
Change your
anything in
socks.
here. Change your socks, right? Bring a second
Right.
pair
Change
of
your
socks.
clothes.
Yeah. Keep your mask
Yeah.
on.
Right. Keep your mask on. COVID or no COVID.
Cover
Don't
your
like
mask in between
dirty
bites
breath.
of food. Right, I don't
That's
care.
it.
I don't want none of that. Come and sit on the sofa. You can put down like a sheet on the sofa for you to not make sure it's all.
It's going to be
Okay.
really fun at your house, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't
So-
care. I'm not going to do that, but Sanj definitely will.
Yeah. You're going to tell her to Inception. You're
She's
gonna
a clean
plant it in
freak,
her
man.
mind.
She loves it.
Okay. Cool. Lovely.
Right.
Well, it's been an honor and a pleasure. I know next week we have a super interesting guest.
Yeah,
So
man.
listeners, if you are out there listening to this, right, and you are single and ready to mingle, if you want to be matched up with the UK's #1 matchmaker, we have a exclusive special interview with Suk, who's going to tell us about the game. We're going to look at it from the inside. Now, fortunately, Indy and I are already taken.
I
We're
was
off
going to
the
say,
market.
like, if you sign up to it now, I'll get you
Yeah.
a date with Doctor, but I don't know how Shindy
Right.
would take that. So, yeah.
Well, you know, if it's for the podcast, you know, I can do things to the podcast, right? You put yourself out there.
You
I'll
wait
put
to pimp
myself
yourself
out there.
Yeah, all right. Safe,
We'll
safe.
do
Say less.
we'll do date nights, right? And I'll get you to sign up to drop the contracts for those date nights. You have
There you go.
specialty in
Done.
that.
No
Yeah.
touching, no nothing.
No touching. Say no touch. No touch. You
No
don't bloody
touching.
touch. No touch.
2 meter distance, please.
Yeah. 10 meter distance. Oh, God. But guys, thank you so much for getting to this point in the podcast. As always, a pleasure to share the space with my very good friend Indy. Give us a like, give us a share, subscribe, and leave us a goddamn comment. Come on, engage with the content. You know we want to grow, we want to explode, we want to be on the live stage. So make it happen. If you love what we do and you love what we talk about, show us some love.
Yeah, man. Tell me how bad my Super League rant was as well and how little I know about cricket. I'm down for that. Let's go.
Yep.
Constructive feedback is necessary.
Instant feedback. Lovely.
Right. Catch you in a bit. Later, bro.
See you later, everybody. Bye-bye.